Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Q&A that I am doing today. My name is Clyde Robbins. I am host of the Post Raw Podcast. If you have never heard of the Post Raw Podcast, it's because it's a new thing. It's an experiment. It is a show where I discuss, criticize, and recap the events of WWE Monday Night Raw each and every Tuesday. That's why we call it the Post Raw Podcast. A lot of people do these after shows. They do these audio segments on their dirt sheet sites. And I was listening to a few of them the other day, and I was like, I can do better. I have a communications degree at the University of Berkeley in Los Angeles, despite currently living in Orlando, Florida. I actually, ever since Flow Rider did come along, I've decided to tell people that I live in Orlando, Florida. It really screws with them. It makes them think that you're crazy. Since this is a new thing, I just started the Post Raw Podcast on February 19th. Uploaded it to YouTube. It doesn't allow you to upload files that aren't videos. Therefore, audio files not accepted. So I had to throw in a raw JPEG in there just so I could upload it, because it's the only avenue I really understand. Now, right now, I want to answer some questions from fans of professional wrestling. But the only thing is, because the Post Raw Podcast is so new, we don't have supporters. This show's not supported by anybody or anything. It will be. It will explode. However, we have not reached that point yet. I'm one man doing everything in my apartment, and you know what? I don't have a girlfriend. I just talk to myself about wrestling because I enjoy it. So what I've decided to do, since I don't get any questions, is that I've taken questions that other people post on dirt sheets. For example, head over to NoDQ.com. We got a man named Aaron answering questions there. And what I've done is I've stripped the questions from his site and I answer them with my own flair. Because my name's not Aaron. It's Clyde Robbins. Let's go to the first question. And this one, I don't have names. We're just going to keep it anonymous, because, you know, these are questions from another site. I do give them credit. Head over to NoDQ.com, another site I like to visit. PWInsider.com. You can sign up for the Elite by paying like $150 for, you know, stuff that I'm giving you for free right now here on YouTube. Another place I like to go to, BleacherReport.com/Pro-Wrestling. And you know what? My favorite podcast of all time, Mr. Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling. Available on iTunes, and if you have an iPhone, download the podcast app, search Art of Wrestling, subscribe, rate it 5 stars. Excellent podcast. Enough dilly-dallying, let's get to the question. Is it pretty much a given, since Punk took the belt on Raw, that Rock will debut a long-awaited WWE Championship belt at the Elimination pay-per-view? This question was sent in before, I'm guessing, the Raw telecast on February 18th. And the answer is, yeah, there's a new belt. You can get it at WWEshop.com. Question number 2, do you think we'll ever see Kurt Angle in the WWE again? If so, when. Folks, I don't think we're ever going to see Kurt Angle do a full-time schedule in the WWE. Now, as Justin Bieber would say never. Horrible reference, by the way. But, no. I mean, he's got a sore neck. He's got lots of problems. Knee issues now. Back issues. Just emotional issues. I don't know what's going on in his head. He's kind of crazy. He always says his Twitter gets hacked and whatnot. Anyway, but I think that his full-time days in the WWE are over. And he's going to stay in TNA for the time being. However, I can see Kurt Angle the possibility of ending his career. And I'm not talking about TNA career, WWE career. I'm saying his career. His active career. He might end it at a WrestleMania. Question number 3. I am 13 years old, and I noticed how WWE had a very similar storyline. AJ Styles, Dixie Carter with the AJ Cena stuff. Now I see Bobby Roode and Austin Aries is like the Team Hell No gimmick. Why is TNA and WWE doing this? They gotta cycle through storylines, and they're copying each other because one is working, or not working, or working kind of, but they think that they can do it better. In the case of TNA, AJ Styles and Claire, that storyline bombed. It was awful. Nobody liked it. WWE saw it and was like, hey, I can do better. And they tried. And that angle bombed. So they should have just not done that storyline whatsoever. In the case of the Team Hell No gimmick, I mean, it's a really good gimmick, but I mean, yeah, I haven't seen anything on the TNA side. So, I mean, I hate TNA. It's good sometimes, but for the most part, it's kind of shit. Question number 4. Why do you think the Fabulous Freebirds haven't been inducted into the Hall of Fame yet? Well, the Fabulous Freebirds are great. And at some point, I should say, they're both going to be inducted because Doc Hendricks, as I like to call him, he's with Vince. He's with Vince 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's a matter of time that they're going to be in there. It just has to be a right time. I would imagine they're going to go in when the headline of the Hall of Fame is also going to be a tag team. So say, for example, the Dudley Boys go in. Not right now because they're contractually obligated to total non-stop wrestling. But what if the Legion of Doom get inducted? I would definitely see the Fabulous Freebirds also getting that honor. Question number 5. Do you see Jake Roberts returning and refeuding with The Undertaker and wrestle at WrestleMania, in which Roberts breaks the streak and they both go into the Hall of Fame together? That is literally the most stupid question that I've ever gotten. And I know, when you're a kid and you're in a class, your teachers always tell you there's no such thing as a stupid question. Well, that was a stupid question because there is literally, and I mean literally, 0% chance of that happening. In fact, Aaron from NoDQ.com also says the same thing. 0% chance of that happening. Question number 6. what do you think of an idea for next year's Royal Rumble? Have number 1 and number 2 go to the final 2 of the Rumble. Now, I do believe that they have done this before. I believe it was 1995 WWF Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog entered at 1 and 2 and ended up being the final 2 of the 30-man match. So, it's been done, so I'm sure they're going to do it again. So I wouldn't rule it out. Question number 7. Do you think that the location for WrestleMania 30 has been finalized? If not, do you think the Superdome power outage at the Super Bowl will have a negative effect on New Orleans bidding? Well, this question was also sent in before WrestleMania 30 had been finalized for the New Orleans Superdome. It has been finalized! So, there you go. Next question, Swagger versus Del Rio. Mania, 30 minutes, ultimate submission, ankle lock versus the cross arm breaker. And I gotta say, it's a great idea. I would certainly love to see that because I have a gut feeling that it might be better and or just as good as the Chris Benoit-Kurt Angle match from the Rumble a few years ago. And by a few, I mean 2001, which was like 14 years ago. But it's not going to happen because the match is going to open WrestleMania, which means it's going to be fast-paced action. Give them about maximum 8 minutes to have a match in there to open up WrestleMania with a strong, fast pace. Swagger and Del Rio, WrestleMania 30 opening match. The final question is, do you think Triple H will have his last match at WrestleMania 29, or will he wrestle again in the future? My estimation is that Triple H will bow out of WrestleMania 29 and come back in a huge way at WrestleMania 30. Because you know what? I think that they're going to use Punk and Lesnar to be a second marquee match in WrestleMania 29 in case Undertaker can't make it. Which is right now, it's looking pretty slim that Taker's been make 29. I mean, as much as I want him to, even if he does make it, he'll be like 82 to 84%, not 100%. And if Taker can't go, you either put Punk in the triple threat match and make it Rock, Cena, Punk, which, you know, as you witnessed or heard on the Post Raw podcast, I had a huge, beef with that decision if they are going into that route. So I'm hoping that they don't, but if they do, I'll be like, yikes. You know what I mean? So this year, I'm hoping that it's going to be Punk and Taker. And if Taker can't go, Punk and Lesnar, H gets the boot, comes back at 30. So that's my take on the situation. And let me know what you think. What do you think is going to be the final lineup at WrestleMania 29? I'll be there in attendance live on pay-per-view, and I'm very excited. It'll be my first WrestleMania of all time. I've saved up all my money all year. I'm a statistical analyst for Dell, and I went to the University of Berkeley in Los Angeles and currently live in Orlando, Florida. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Longer than it certainly should have been. But you know what? I enjoyed it. You're going to enjoy it. And the person you decide to share it with or the site you decide to embed it on, they're going to enjoy it too. Thanks again for joining us here on the Post Raw Podcast Q&A. Subscribe! YouTube.com/Post Raw Podcast. And you know what? I'm going to mention them again. Head over to NoDQ.com. Head over to PWInsider.com. Head over to BleacherReport.com. patreon.com/pro-wrestling. And for my favorite, Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling, it's on iTunes. Or on welovecult.com. Thanks again for joining us here on the Post Raw Podcast. Remember again to subscribe, youtube.com/Post Raw Podcast. I'll be here every Tuesday discussing, criticizing, and recapping the events from Monday Night Raw. If you want to check out the very first episode, it's on my channel. Go check it out. The February 18th edition is live. And you know what? I'll see you next time.